What's your "I'm calling it now" prediction? Story 1. Coursework/homework will no longer be used for formal assessment because of AI. Exams will be the only way to assess knowledge. Reply 1. Saw a high school teacher who gives her teachers a prompt. They have to prompt AI to get an essay. They put the essay into a graphic organizer and reverse engineer it to find the thesis statement, supporting details and concluding paragraph. Then they have to explain why the essay they were given meets the prompts and fulfills a given rubric and edit it to fix where it doesn't. I think teachers will eventually adapt. Reply 2. Some of us will adapt and have already. But I look at some of the old-timers at my school or the coaches, and no chance they will do anything. I think AP/DCIB classes will find a way to make kids think and learn, but the masses in regular classes could AI the entire course without a teacher doing a thing. Reply 3. This is kinda cool, but can easily be done with essays written by real people. This was the teacher can look through it to make sure it's written as it should. Reply 4. Honestly, that's how I feel it should have always been. Homework should be used to reinforce concepts learned in class, and exams used to assess the understanding of those concepts. Reply 5. It's been like that in STEM for a while in some places. Most of my major courses in physics were one exam, plus midterm, plus this exam, 2, plus a final, which summed to 90% of our grade, with 10% homework. It's just high school where HW is severely overweighted, which is honestly kind of important in my opinion, because kids have no self-motivation and will all just do nothing all semester if there aren't any punishments. At least at a collegiate level, students know they're paying money to be there and form a modicum of self-sufficiency in studies. Would I expect more than 10% of 10th graders to be capable of that? Probably not. Story 2. All social networks will crumble under the weight of AI-generated content and will be deserted or will need to be completely overhauled to remain usable by humans. Reply 1. I've been thinking about this outcome a lot. It's darkly funny to me. Automated accounts will keep cranking out AI-generated content, while the bots will continue to like and comment on all of it. Meta and others will only be looking at data and won't realize the human exodus is happening until it's too late. Meanwhile, the automated AI content all comes from training scraped from socials, so the content starts to deteriorate as it slowly eats itself through digital incest, for lack of a better term. Reply 2. They'll only notice when the ad buyers realize advertising on their platform is useless and they stop buying ads. Reply 3. My prediction is that social media giants will ignore it because it inflates their numbers, but then it will leak that an absurd amount of the traffic is just bots. This will cause investors and advertisers to divest, and the companies either tank or get bailed out. Reply 4. Reddit's gone to crap the past few years. I'm almost ready to leave, and I've been here over 10 years, a refugee from Dig V4. I suspect it'll take a couple more years before I get fed up enough to finally leave. Edit fixed Dig version. Thanks. Reply 5. Same, and literally the only reason I'm still here is because it's so far the least bad option that I'm aware of. Story 3. Trying to think of a positive one. With our growing older population, the emphasis of curing Alzheimer's will be bumped more as a priority, and the current trials that have been looking good will get more of a push to mainstream practice within the next 10 years. Reply 1. I got a push notification from my news app this morning that a drug that has been proven to slow the progression of Alzheimer's by 30% has been approved for use in Australia. So some good news. Pretty sure it's only some forms of Alzheimer's, like the genetic kind, but still. Any news is good news. Reply 2. To put the 30% into perspective, the mean life expectancy from time of diagnosis is around 6 years. This drug could push mean life expectancy to 8 years. However, the early stage with only mild symptoms is usually rather short compared to the stage of fully progressing dementia, like a year or 2. It's groundbreaking science and a great start, but we're still very far away from finding a cure. Story 4. There will be a real internet that will be made exclusively for people who link their online identity to their government identity. Reply 1. LinkedIn already rolling this with passport scanning. Although LinkedIn continues to be a SHI 1 hole. Story 5. Internet search will be completely useless soon. You'll hear a rumor, or just make one up, and do a search for it, and AI bots will just generate pics and news stories confirming it. The truth will be completely indiscernible. Reply 1. This is so terrifying to me. AI is only getting more advanced, and we will never be able to see what is real and not. Reply 2. This has already been happening for a while in regards to movies. Time after time, I look up Saisamina, for example, because I thought I heard someone mention it, and boom, Google says it's real. Images, multiple trailers, and everything. But of course there is no Just 2, and they haven't even considered making one yet. Reply 3. The latest debacle, the Chicago Sun-Times publishing a top 10 summer reads list of books totally hallucinated by AI, made my heart skip a beat. The wolf of our future is beating at the door, and he's hungry. Story 6. Automated forklift operators. Already happening now at my job. It's crazy to see forklifts operating themselves without a driver. They still can't burn out as good as me. Reply 1. They still can't burn out as good as me. Probably why they're using automated forklift drivers, laugh out loud. Story 7. People will start going to live performances like plays more often because AI-generated online content will overload the networks and get really boring, gosh, creepy. Reply 1. They'll want to, but the cost of living crisis and insane ticket costs thanks to tactics like dynamic pricing will mean more and more people can't afford live performances. Reply 2. Luckily, making music is not restricted to hyper-successful artists artificially made famous by the music industry. Reply 3. This the drum I'm banging. It might cost you $300 or more to see big artist X in a nearby city, but that same city is going to have local artist X, putting on a great show at Cafe X, just down the road from giant Ticketmaster venue X for $10. Plus, when local artist X inevitably blows up, because they're doing the same kind of new crap that big artist X was doing 15 years ago, you'll be able to tell everybody you saw them for $10 and sell the $20 Gildan t-shirt you bought from them directly for $300 on eBay. Story 8. There will be an AI presidential candidate who will make it pretty far before people find out that they aren't real. Point 911 service will be privatized in a few years. Reply 1. There will be paywalls and ads before you get to the AI operator while you're being murdered on the other end. Story 9. Physical media is going to be the next trend. From DVDs to CDs to vinyls, even books and physical art, will all increase in value over the next decade or so. With the rising cost of things like Spotify/Netflix and the oversaturation of those markets, I think it's a matter of time before people start growing their collections again. That's before we discuss the impact of censorship, AI, and collection of user data. Hopefully it won't be too long before we see places like Blockbuster come back again. All this could be my own nostalgia goggles talking, but let me dream. Reply 1. I've already started hearing rumblings of people wanting physical media to come back, so I think you may be onto something with this one. Reply 2. I truly believe there will be a point where art/media created completely by a real person will have way more inherent worth sooner than we think. Story 10. We're adding new stuff instead of dealing with problems. Kinda like adding more icing on the cake that's falling, hoping it's gonna balance. Raising prices instead of sorting out shortages or taxes, adding more laws to fix problematic ones, creating new technology that's eco-friendly instead of eliminating the cause for global warming, which eco stuff barely even scratches to solve. Reply 1. There's this book by Evgeny Morozov about technological solutionism you might relate to/find interesting. It's called To Save Everything. Click here. Story 11. The Colorado Rockies will break 2 records this season, but they'll both be bad ones. Most losses, most runs against, something like that. Reply 1. They are the worst team across the board as they are dead last in every offensive and defensive category in the majors. I feel bad for their fans who have to endure such bull crap and horse crap. Story 12. Suddenly a global water shortage appears, considering now a new threat, data centers and cooling them. Story 13. Trump will die of old age, never having been punished for any of his crimes, for 40 years. People will hold him up like Reagan as though he was a great leader. Reply 1. We knew from the moment he won his second term that he'd never face any of his crimes. The Supreme Court made sure of that. Reply 2. He'll die of old age, and there will be a sizable contingency that believes it was a leftist conspiracy to kill him, and or he's not really dead but controlling the GOP from a secret island. Story 14. The long-term effects of concussions and impact injuries during childhood/adolescence will become more apparent, and the cost of liability insurance will make it so that public schools cannot afford to have a football team. Non-contact sport, probably soccer, will take over popularity like it has just about everywhere else in the world. Reply 1. Soccer is not a non-contact sport, and evidence about how damaging headers are continues to emerge, so I don't think it would make sense as a replacement. Story 15. 1. Human-created content will survive AI, but it won't be commercially viable for mass distribution. It will be relegated to a luxury niche like bespoke tailors, handmade furniture, and live performances. 2. There will still be a degree of creativity in creating AI models. So, when you generate your soulless personalized AI feature film with only a verisimilitude of intent and creativity, you might choose a favorite human creator who defined its parameters, so the creation has a flavor that didn't come from you. To be clear, I'm not looking forward to this. Story 16. Paramount's taking out quite a few episodes of South Park when it gets added to Paramount Plus on July 1st. Keep that in mind. One of them is Trapped in the Closet, I'm calling it now, that the cult of Scientology paid off Paramount to remove that South Park episode. Reply 1. Considering how Nathan Fielder just called out Paramount Plus for removing a Nathan For You episode, this is totally plausible. Reply 2. Paramount. Tom Cruise is Paramount at this point. Top Gun and Mission Impossible their biggest IPs. Story 17. Orangutans will be extinct in the next 25 years, maybe even sooner. Edit. This being Reddit and all, my post is far from bulletproof. Extinct in the wild is 100% what I meant here. I should have specified I was careless. An orangutan would never make this mistake. Story 18. We will have some variety of Kent State-style government massacre in the U.S. before the end of the fall this year. It's a powder keg right now. Something's bound to pop off. Reply 1. I give it until next spring. It is going to have to get pretty crappier, and there's going to have to be mass unemployment too. There's going to have to be a lot hungry people. Reply 2. That's on the way with Trump's new taxes and tariffs. We're heading into a hot summer and heat F's with humans' heads when they're already upset and angry about crap, which I think it's safe to say most people are. We won't start seeing the full effect of the tariffs till summer when the current stock available runs dry, so lack of access to goods and services will coincide with the hottest part of the year. I think we'll see a riot in a blue state. Trump will use it as an excuse to send in the now militarily trained police force, recent EO, to put it down, and begin nationwide suppression of dissidents with this excuse. It probably won't get to the point where enough people are angry and hungry to unify before he solidifies his power this way. And then it may be too late to be honest. Reply 3. Tacking onto the riot point, Trump will actually be the first president to grab guns, and he's going to use bloody Chicago or out-of-control Minneapolis as the excuse. It will be a blue city, guaranteed. Story 19. When it happens, we won't know for at least 48 hours. They'll try to keep his passing quiet as long as possible. Story 20. No one cares, but I'm working with a woman who's unfit to be in a leadership position and who became my supervisor a month ago. I'm calling it now that she's going to get more people pissed off and show what a crap leader she is, and people are going to quit because of her. I already know for a fact that at least one person is leaving. It's me, laugh out loud. Reply 1. Oh, I remember this. After ownership changed in the company I worked for, a third of the staff quit within the first year. A few others left the next year, so half the staff was gone. Many had been with the company for 15-20 years. Long-standing relationships with other firms have also been terminated. It was a wild ride, at least the parts of it I was there to witness.
Thanks for watching until the end. If you have a similar story to these that you want to share with us, please leave it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like and subscribe. For more videos like this one right now, please stop by our channel. Thanks again, and see you next time.